White Sox is there, hosted by Mark McGwire, Kent Bottenfield, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Busch Stadium with Tom Patrick. I'm Ken Harrell. We get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set, and it will be the rubber match. Sox lost the opener. I'll tell you, it was a toughie, 3-2 in 13 innings. Then last night they came back, and despite 2 home runs and 6 RBIs by big Mark McGwire, they won it 9-8. And tonight, Wimpy, a couple of guys out on that mound who've been going in different directions.
Yes, they have. You know, Kent Bottenfield is probably the biggest surprise in all of baseball. When you look at his 14-3 record, it's just been phenomenal because of the fact that the Cardinals are 2 games under the 500 mark as a team. Now, James Baldwin, 3 starts ago, was magnificent. When he beat the Kansas City Royals, he had that full windup, but he has really faltered in his last 2 starts. Hopefully bigger and better things this evening for JB because Bottenfield has been awfully tough.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. Finale of this 3-game set. It will be the rubber match, and we'll be back with the rest of the starting lineups right after this.
Chicago White Sox baseball on WGN is brought to you by Miller Lite. Taste a true Pilsner. Ford, your local Ford store. Quality people, quality products. Coca-Cola, always ahead, always Coca-Cola. Toyota, every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota every day. New Discover Platinum. Now more than ever, it pays to discover. Platinum. Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And by Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of WGN Sports.
He earned his stripes in the classroom. Now he's on the front line.
You better learn that fast.
Earning the respect of his men, one battle at a time. His uniform made him a lieutenant. His men made him a leader. Michael Dudikoff, the true story of the 173rd Airborne, platoon leader.
Tonight at 10:30 on WGN.
In 1964, Nolan Ryan dreamed of becoming a basketball star. Destiny had a different plan. Congratulations, Nolan, from your friend in the upper deck.
Visiting with Sox manager Jerry Manuel. And Jerry, let's talk a little bit about tonight's starting pitcher, James Baldwin. Now, he has been the mark of inconsistency all season long. He's been either real good or real bad. What are you looking from him tonight?
I'm hoping he gets real good tonight. We need a good outing from JB. And I think JB needs to prove to himself that, you know, he can have a good outing against a good club. This is a very big outing for JB. I mean, you know, everybody saw him pitch, you know, in the Sunday night ball game. And, you know, I went to the All-Star game. A lot of people refer to, you know, what's wrong with James Baldwin? Is he doing this or is he doing that? But I think it all lies within JB. I think JB has to figure out himself what he needs to do to become the pitcher that he was the second half of last year. There's nothing mechanically wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with his arm or anything such as that. So it lies with JB as to what he's able to do here tonight.
Well, what about you did make an adjustment. He's got a bigger delivery right now. He brings the hands over his heads a little bit more, and he worked really well for him that first outing against Kansas City.
Yeah, I think, you know, this game is so much mental. So any little thing that a guy adds that he might think feels comfortable to him, I think gives him some confidence. And I think that's what he got with Kansas City. And I think that's the type of stuff that he needs to come up with in order to stay confident and focused, you know, in order to have good outings.
Let's talk a little bit about the hitting right now. You know, the one guy that just keeps bouncing out to me is Chris Singleton. I mean, that young man, you just cheer for him. He's such a good kid. And the fact that, is it surprising to you that he just seems to be getting better and better?
I would say it is because, you know, early in the year or even in spring training, we thought we had a guy that could make contact, and also was a fearless type of player. but we thought he was a bit stiff. And, you know, it's difficult to get to different pitches if you're not flexible. And the one thing that he has done, he has worked on his flexibility. I think he is a guy that played a lot of football and was used to coming in every season all built up and strong, but yet and still tight. So we've asked him to lay off the weights a little bit, and I think he has grown a little bit more flexible. But the thing about Chris is that he's strong enough, and he makes contact often enough, and he runs well enough, so therefore he can get all types of hits. And it's really rewarding to see a young man such as him do well at this level.
Well, you made a call up. Brian Simmons is back with the ball club now. He was supposed to be our starting center fielder. Now, do you feel like Brian adds a little bit more flexibility by sending Leifer out?
Yeah, he does. He adds that, and he's probably a little bit more experienced outfielder for us as well, so he can play, you know, all three outfield positions. He's a switch hitter, and he runs a lot better. So in case that, you know, we need a pinch runner late in the ball game or something like that, we wouldn't hesitate for Brian to be the base runner and also possibly steal a base for us. So he gives us a little bit more flexibility than we had with Leaf.
Jerry, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Jerry Manuel, and we'll be back right after these messages with the starting lineups. Good evening and welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Final game and the rubber game of this three-game series between the White Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got a great crowd on hand, a nice evening for baseball. And one of the top pitchers in the National League on the mound for the Cardinals. His name is Kent Bottenfield. And here's the White Sox lineup he'll be facing tonight. Leading off at second base, Ray Durham. Batting second in center field, Chris Singleton. Frank Thomas is at first base. He'll hit third. Cleanup man, right fielder Maglio Ordonez. Carlos Lee plays left and will bat fifth, followed by catcher Brooke Fordyce. Craig Wilson gets another start at third base. He'll hit the seventh position, batting eighth at shortstop Liu Rodriguez. And pitching and batting ninth is James Baldwin. Here are the Cardinals on defense. Ray Langford is the left fielder. J.D. Drew plays center with Darren Bragg stationed in right. Fernando Tatis is at third base. Edgar Renteria at shortstop. Joe McEwing at second base. And Big Mac, Mark McGuire at first. Eli Marrero behind the plate. And Kent Bottenfield on the mound. Bottenfield, 6'3", 240-pounder from Brownsburg, Indiana. 14-3 on the year. He's a 30-year-old. 3.78 earned run average, 19 starts. 112 hits in the same number of innings. 14 homers, 50 walks, and 89 strikeouts. The umpires tonight. At home plate is Brian Gorman. Eric Gregg at first. Jerry Crawford at second base. And Paul Nauert is the third base umpire. So conditions are great for baseball. We are ready. Here's the Hawkeroo.
All right, Wimpy, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports, finale of this three-game set. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Ray Durham will lead it off. Ray hitting at 306, 10 homers. He's driven in 39, 6 for 11 in this series. As first pitch strike, fakes the bunt. Ray has faced Bottenfield twice in his career, and he is 0 for 2. So Bottenfield, what a story for the 30-year-old right-hander. As there's a strike on the outside corner, says Gorman, and the count quickly 2 strikes. Sox come in hitting at 283 as a club with a 4.75 ERA. Sox one game under at 43 and 44. That fastball fouled away left side. Outfield bunching Durham here at Busch Stadium. 330 down the lines, 372 in the gaps, 402 straight away center field. And indeed, a beautiful evening here in St. Louis as there is ball one. But in 13 innings, Cardinals took the opener 3-2. Tough loss for the Sox right there. And then last night, they came back and won it 9-8. Max Ordonez having a big evening as there's a 3-hopper, Joe McEwing. And that's out number 1. with one gone, that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Singleton. Chris hitting at .317, 8 homers. He's driven in 43. As you look at Jamie Navarro, who really pitched well last evening. Gave up that 3-run homer to Mark McGwire in the first inning. Then he settled down, dropped his arm angle down a little bit. Jamie picking up the victory last night. Chris 3 for 10 in this series with a homer, and he's driven in 4. Fouls that pitch away. Sox have played 40 games on the road, and they have won 21 of them. Sox in interleague play have played 14 times, and they have won 8 of those. As a skipper, you've been with us all the way, talking about what he's expecting and hoping. This is a better way to put it, from James Baldwin tonight. That pitch inside, so it's 2-1. Sox in a very unusual scheduling position. They'll conclude this series tonight and then head up to Milwaukee as there's a chopper 2-hopper. Edgar Renteria has it, 2 gone. But the Sox will go up to Milwaukee for a day game tomorrow. You don't see that very often.
Well, it's that all-star scheduling. You know, you come back on Thursday, 3-game series is all we're going to basically play against, and especially with interleague, right in the middle of it, so.
Well, it's better than those 2-game series a couple of years ago everybody was having.
Absolutely.
Here's Big Frank at .323. Strike on the outside corner. Frank 12 homers, 57 driven in. He's faced Bottenfield a couple of times. He's 0 for 2. 1-1 the count. The outfield now spreads out a bit for Big Frank. J.D. Drew moving over towards Darren Bragg a couple of steps in right field. One and 2 the count. They're going to stay out there. On deck hitter Mags Ordonez. Mags 4 big ribbies last night. Once again, they're going to stay out there. Frank having to protect. Frank sitting on 298 home runs for his career. They want to go out there again. Don't blame them. As that's out of play right side. Another jam-packed house here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals averaging 40,756. 46,000 plus last evening. That ball hit long and deep, but going foul. Right size, wrong shape, upper tank.
That's up at Big Mac land over there in left field. Wow.
And right now, let's check out our Takes to Click. Phil Morris, Skip Ellis and the crew, and with Carlos Lee. Wimpy still on the Duke Schneider.
Yeah, that's right.
Durham. And Tony and Irene Antonu and I are going to go with Chris Singleton.
I'm taking Bubba the Hawk, Mike McDaniel, and Buddy Bates.
Full count.
To get me off the snide.
That's amazing. Well, we got that email last night talking about that. That's outside, so Big Frank draws the 2-out walk. And here comes Mags. Mags last night in the first inning got a hanger from Juan Acevedo. Hit deep into left field by Ordonez. He didn't miss it. Langford back at the. You can put it on the board. Sox had already scored 1 run. That made it a 3-0 lead, but McGwire's homer tied it up very quickly. So Mags 3 for 9 in this series. Outfield playing him straight up. Takes high off the plate. Now Bottenfield is not going to overpower you. No trick pitches. The basic 4. Fastball, curveball, slider, change. And really not one of them you would say is an outstanding pitch, so it'll tell you his location has been superb. The ball hit hard into right center field. Bragg giving chase, makes the catch. Beautiful running play by Darren Bragg, robbing Ordonez of extra bases and saving a run. So the Sox threaten, and after a half inning of play, it's the good guys nothing, and the Cardinals coming up.
No score, bottom of the first inning here at Busch Stadium. And here's the Cardinal lineup for tonight. The top third of J.D. Drew in center field, Edgar Renteria at shortstop, Mark McGwire at first. Middle third features in left field, Ray Langford, Fernando Tatis at third, and Darren Bragg in right. Bottom third of Nick Ewing at second base, Eli Marrero behind the plate, and pitching, Kent Bottenfield. Here's the Sox on defense. Lee Singleton and Ordonez in the outfield. Wilson, Rodriguez, Durham Thomas are the infielders. Brooke Fordyce behind the plate, and James Baldwin on the mound. James 4-9 with that real high earned run average. He has one complete game in 18 starts. And those are not real pretty numbers.
So James going back to his old windup. 3 starts ago, he used the bigger windup going up over his head. Dominated Kansas City. Tried it 2 more times. Did not work out for him. So here's the one we've seen during his career is J.D. Drew. Grounds out to Ray Durham. Drew now 3 for 10 in the series. Here's the 23-year-old shortstop, Edgar Renteria. Edgar at 303, 5 homers. He's driven in 40. 4 for 10 in the first 2 games. There's a fastball strike. Outfield playing him just about straight away. Greg Wilson. About even with the bag off the line, a couple of steps at third. That's into center field. Can of corn for Chris Singleton. So 2 out, and thank goodness, because here comes Mark McGwire, and in the first 2 games of the series, here's what he's done. Like Soroka in game 1. Then last night, first inning. So 3 homers he has. And he's knocked in 7. Fouls that fastball back. McGwire sitting on 488 career homers. He has faced Baldwin 8 times. In his career, he has 1 hit. And guess what it was? Homer? I love it when you analyze, Wimpy.
Thank you.
Ooh. Pretty good pitch right there. Didn't get it in the count, 1-1. Threw that fastball by him. You got to make Mark McGwire reroute his swing, and the way you do that is by pitching him up. From the thigh down, from the cup down, one of the greatest, most devastating hitters we've ever seen in this game. He's upstairs. He's gone. He'll grab some bench in a 1-2-3 inning for Baldwin. After 1, no score. Will lead off the top of the 2nd inning. And a defensive change for the Cardinals. Carlos takes strike 1. Sean Dunston has gone into first base. Mark McGwire struck out, and Tony La Russa came out of the dugout. They chatted for just a moment, and he is gone. Carlos out in front, pulls that one foul, and to count 0-2. Here's the swing when he strikes out. Might be that back of his. That back will jump up. And here's La Russa. Leading him off is that pitch high off the plate to Carlos. Then the count 1-2. So a huge disappointment for a huge crowd here at Busch Stadium, including two guys sitting right here.
Darn right.
I love to watch him hit. Everybody does. That's what it was. Tightness in his lower back, they just announced over the PA. Carlos 2 for 8 in this series. Pops this one up right side. Bragg coming on, making the call, taking charge, has the ball. So we'll go back to the first swing now that Mark McGuire. This is the first swing he made. See the grimace?
Yeah.
Now, when you're that big and you're that strong, Wimpy, we've talked about it so often. Boy, it's easy to pull a muscle as that's into center field off the bat of Brook Fordyce. J.D. Drew is there.
Yeah, it always seems like the bigger and the stronger you are, the more likely you are to have a back problem. And that's exactly what Mark has struggled with over the last, well, geez, umpteen years. Kind of jumps up and grabs him. And he'll go for months without it happening, too. And then all of a sudden, something will happen. It's too bad, too. They had camera day before the game. He was walking around the field, you know, taking pictures and stuff. But they had no batting practice day for either teams.
So here's Craig Wilson. Wilson at 274, a couple of homers. He's driven in 10. 3 for 9 with an RBI in this series. Outfield straight up. Good rip right there. Got a good pitch to hit. Breaking ball up. Two out, a ball and a strike to Wilson here in the top of the second inning. That's off the plate. Breaking pitch. Bidenfield in his career has won 32 times. He has lost 30. Thrown 14 home runs this year. Craig spoils that one. So the count hangs at 2-2. Checking some other action for you around the major leagues today. The Yankees beat the Braves 11-4 in New York. Tampa Bay over the Mets 3-2 down at Tropicana Field. It was Toronto 6, the Fighting Fish 1 at Skydome. 8-6, D-backs over the Rangers down in Texas. Ooh, that was a nice day game. That's into right center field. Darren Bragg. He's there. Oh, what a play he made last inning, saving him a run. Makes that catch. 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 4 in a row. We'll go to the bottom of the second, scoreless. No score, bottom of the second inning. James Baldwin, a 1-2-3 first. As always, there are some Sox fans here when they can get tickets. The Cardinals, not a whole bunch of tickets to be had here at Busch Stadium. So it'll be Langford, Tatis, and Darren Bragg. A lot of Sox fans staying at the hotel, which is just about a block and a half. We have to walk to come to the entrance here. Actually, it's right across the street. There's a fastball strike to Langford, hitting at 321.
Is that too far for you?
I wish I had a cart, golf cart. Fouls that one back. So Baldwin coming right at him. 0-2 the count.
I absolutely love coming to St. Louis, and one of the elements is being right across the street from the hotel. I mean, the ballpark being right here. People talking to you all the time, signing autographs. Boy, it's a ball.
Well, I'm talking about from the time I leave the room. It's about a block and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Walk.
Yeah.
Turns that one over, misses.
Well, it's tough. We'll leave the light on for you next time.
That's out of play. We talked about it in the first two games. This is one terrific baseball city. They love their Cardinals. And they love the game, period.
Yes. Oh, just a sea of red wherever you go. It's great.
2-2. Cardinals have been absolutely decimated by injuries, especially that pitching staff, the last several seasons. There's a hook. He's gone. He'll grab some bench. And that is out number 1. Good curveball by Baldwin.
Watch this. This is a yellowhammer right here. Sir Charles, Uncle Charlie, whatever you want to call it. Langford, boy, look, see those hands come forward right there? He had no chance to pull the trigger. Just completely fooled by an outstanding hook by James Baldwin.
That'll bring up the 5th place hitter, the 3rd baseman, Fernando Tatis. 2 for 11 in the series, hitting at .285, 18 homers. There's a strike on the outside corner. Fernando is driven in 59. That's up high, so the count 1-1. Baldwin 40 and 37 in his career. Curveball, yes. Well, he's got some good mound presence out there tonight. If that means anything, some good body language. Took a little something off that hook, tried to get him to chase it, and that evens the count at 2. Cardinals hitting at .267 as a club, 4.99 ERA. Cardinals have played 44 games here at Busch Stadium. They've won 20 of them. And the Cardinals also have played 11 games in interleague play this season. They've won 5 of them. It's Tony La Russa. Talking about Tony, I want to send out a big White Sox hello and happy birthday to Tony La Russa Sr., who will be 88 years young tomorrow.
Wow.
The ball hit deep. Way back. Carlos Lee at the fence looks up. You can put it on the board. Solo homer for Fernando Tatis. His 19th. And it's a 1-0 Cardinal lead.
Tatis now with 60 runs batted in on the season. Got a fastball down. 3-2 pitch. Here it comes, down and in, and he just went there and got it. Little bend from the knees right there. Real quick, short, quick swing there.
Breaking ball strike to Darren Bragg. Bragg at .274, 4 homers, 22 driven in. He's had good luck against Baldwin, 6 for 11. And the count 0-2. That's the 24th home run that JB has thrown this year. Hook, he's gone. He'll grab some bench. 3rd strikeout for Baldwin. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Joe McEwing.
Well, he just locked up 2 pretty good left-handed hitters on curveballs to punch him out in this inning. Did the same thing with Ray Langford, just froze him. You mentioned what great success he has had against JB in the past. Right there, those hands move forward. He's got no chance.
So here's McEwing. Hitting at .302, 4 homers. He's driven in 30. Had a 25-game hitting streak. Snap last week. Takes a strike. 25-game hitting streak. What would you say the Cardinal record for hitting streak is?
Stan Musial.
No. How many? Gotta play right side.
How many? 25.
No.
No, it's got to be more than that. Probably around 35, 37.
33.
By Stosh?
Nope. Rogers Hornsby.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you would think.
Chopper 2, Hopper Durham. He's got him, but Fernando Tatis, 19th homer of the season. We'll go to the 3rd, trailing it 1-0. 24-year-old third baseman Fernando Tatis cranked out his 19th homer as Liu Rodriguez will lead it off. It'll be Rodriguez, Baldwin, and back to the top of the order. And Ray Durham as little Liu looks down low, ball 1. Liu 1 for 5 in the series, had an RBI last evening. There's a strike to even a count at 1. Taking some other scores for you. Baltimore leading Montreal 1-0 after 4.5 at Camden Yards. Phillies beat the Red Sox 11-3 at Fenway. 9-1 Mariners over the Padres at Safeco Field. As there's a 2-hopper, McEwing. So 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. And as James Baldwin comes up, let's check out our Aflac trivia question. He's the only pitcher to throw 2 no-hitters for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Bob Forsch is who I'm going with.
Good call. Other action. The Dodgers beat the Angels 13-3. Big hit as JP guessing strike. I love to watch pitchers hit. You do. Yeah, it reminds me of me, you know. Brings back a lot of muscle memory.
That's not a good swing.
Well, I know what it is to be 0-2 for a 9-year career. Come on, JB, bristle up. Good 2-strike hitter, big guy.
Yeah, right. Well,
first strikeout for Bidenfield.
He gets a pitch against JB all the time. He'd really be something.
So here's Ray. Grounded out to his counterpart, Joe McEwing. Can't get the high one. After 4 at the Coliseum, San Francisco leading Oakland 7-2. Down at the Astrodome this afternoon, Houston defeated Detroit 3-2. It was 3 one-run ball games in that series. Houston winning them all. That's low. Pittsburgh thumped Cleveland 13-10 at Three Rivers. And it was Minnesota shutting out the Cubs 8-0 at Wrigley. Ooh, curveball. So Ray with a 1-2 count. Hello, scoreboard shot.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. That's baseball, man.
Oh.
I mean, you think about the natural, you think about Major League 1 and 2. We've got to have scoreboard shots inside a ball game. You know, Skip Ellison is terrific.
He's the best. Look at that.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball. Just did get a piece of it.
Ticketmaster and American Express would like to send you and a friend to White Sox Spring Training 2000 in sunny Tucson, Arizona. Use your American Express card to purchase Sox tickets, and you'll be automatically entered to win a trip to spring training or other great prizes courtesy of American Express. No purchase is necessary. For details and tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com on the internet or call 312-831-1SOX. Oh.
Well, you can cancel a post-game show as Ray just reaches out, pokes it in the left. Nice piece of woodwork right there.
Lovely. You know, Bottenfield is very deceptive. He's got that delivery where it's kind of standard. He's over the top, but he does throw everything at you. His glove, not just right here. You know, he's straight over the top with that glove and elbow, and everything comes all in one motion. And he's pitching upstairs. And the fastest fastball he's thrown so far is 88 miles an hour.
Well, we mentioned he's not going to overpower you. And he doesn't have a trick pitch.
No.
And coming in, he's 14-3. Look at that. Andujar. Joaquin. That was one of my favorite names, too. Joaquin Andujar.
Yeah.
Good old Diz. Diz had 14 a couple times.
Diz, yeah. Joaquin Andujar, one tough Dominican.
Yes, he was. Chris takes strike 1. Chris grounded out 2. Edgar Renteria. Dizzy Dean. Played a little golf with Diz. A Texas wedge of his. Boy, you're talking about a sandbagger. Dizzy was a sandbagger.
Did he use his foot mashie?
No, he just used that Texas wedge. Get about 60 or 70 yards off the green. If there wasn't a bunker in front, here comes that putter.
Jeez.
He got my money. Ray with 15 stolen bases, and Bottenfield knows it. Dizzy Dean, what a character, one of baseball's all-time great characters. He backed up everything he said. Brother Paul. Come on, Chris. Fastball, just a little tardy right there.
Now, it looks like Bottenfield will pitch up and down and in and out. I'll tell you, that one curveball he threw Durham was really good, too.
Nick Frank on deck. There goes Durham. And that fastball fouled away. So Ray's going to take a shot right here. Maybe bail him out. If he gets thrown out. If he doesn't, stand on second. Either way, it's all right.
You know, an interesting stat on Bottenfield is that left-handers are only hitting .239 against him with 5 homers. Right-handers, .283 with 9 home runs.
Yeah, well, he's not what you would call an imposing pitcher out there on the mound from a right-handed standpoint. As you mentioned, he's very basic, right over the top. And if you crowd the plate on him, you're liable to take one of his breaking pitches away, especially the curveball. And now all of a sudden you make him, he's not going to throw you the change if you're right-handed. So instead of a 4-pitch pitcher, you basically turn him into a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball slider.
Yeah.
They tell us his change is by far his 4th best pitch. Meanwhile, he's getting it done. There goes Ray once again. There's a chopper right at Joe McEwing. And that'll retire the side. Sox come up with their first base hit, a single by Durham, and after 2.5, they trail 1-0. 1-0 bad guys here in the bottom of the 3rd as Eli Marrero singles in the first pitch. Marrero, disappointment offensively to the Cardinals this year. We're expecting big things out of him. Comes in hitting at .203, 6 homers, 23 knocked in. But he's on base for the pitcher, Kent Bottenfield. Cardinals come with that record, 44-46. They're 8.5 games back. And without Morris and Dennis, Osborne, they have to have a lot of help from a lot of people to get back in the hunt. Bottenfield has got to continue on the way he did in the first half. I like this Jose Jimenez. He looks like he can win some ball games for it. He started game 1 of this series if you missed that one. So there's the throw by Fordyce into center field. He had the base stolen anyway. They weren't going to get him even with a good throw. So Tony La Russa turning on some of that action on the base pass.
Yeah, everybody was paying attention to the pitcher bunting. So Marrero got the real good jump. Boy, he's got 9 stolen bases now.
In 11 attempts.
Yeah. Whew.
Corners in close. And the 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Renee Latchman going through his sequence of signs. Cardinals now with 68 stolen bases, 10 more than the Sox. And they've been thrown out 32 times, 1 more than the Sox. Cardinals with 99 home runs, Sox with 93. Baldwin's going to go to third. They don't get him. right there was a good play by Eli Marrero. That ball was bunted hard right back to him. Now watch the low throw right here. It's going to keep Craig Wilson. First of all, he's got to make sure he makes the catch. He just can't get the glove to tag there in time.
Yeah. Boy, Marrero got there in a heartbeat, though. You would have thought that, well, of course, he runs very well for a catcher. You see by those 9 stolen bases, he obviously got a very good jump when that ball was put into play by Bottenfield.
So here's J.D. Drew, grounded out to Durham. Breaking ball, grabs a strike. There also was a good play that you never see anymore in the game. You get a man, you get a pitcher in a definite bunt situation right there. A slider pitch out. Boy, you can hang that runner up at second base so easy on a slider pitch out, and you just don't see it done anymore. That's one of the things. It's a gone goose in the game of baseball.
It certainly is.
Look at that right-handed hitter up there. Pitcher in this case, bunting. Got the man at second. That's high. 2 balls and a strike. So the Cardinals in great shape right here to do some damage. Runners at the corners, nobody out, leading 1-0. That ball hit deep in the center field. Singleton back at the fence. Looks up. You can put it on the board. 3-run homer for J.D. Drew, and it's a 4-0 ball game. For Drew, number 6 RBIs, 17, 18, and 19.
2-1 pitch, fastball, pretty much center cut, about belt high. And he really gives this one a ride. Wow. Got that out front. You see the big power that J.D. Drew possesses.
Renteria cannot get the curveball. Well, J.D. Drew has the longest home run recorded here at Busch Stadium this year at 474 feet. McGuire is second at 473. That fastball popped up in center field. Singleton making the call.
And we've got Ladies' Day coming up Thursday, July 29th at 1:05. The Yankees are in town. Tickets for women of all ages are $1 purchased at the box office on the day of the game. Ladies' Day.
So here's Sean Dunston. Mark McGuire, if you're just tuning in, struck out to end the first inning and had a tightening in his lower back and left the ball game. So Dunston hitting at 349. It's a curveball strike. He has 5 homers, driven in 24. There's the high curveball. Activity down in the Sox pen. Southpaw Scott Air. That's right side, right center. Chris Singleton. Maggs and Singleton looking at each other. Now it's Chris. So that's out number 2, and right now let's check out our Aflac Trivia question and answer. Who is the only pitcher to throw 2 no-hitters for the Cardinals? Ken Forsch? Bob Forsch.
No, Ken was with Houston.
Yeah, right. He was with Houston.
And the Angels.
Here's Langford. Struck out his first trip. Called out on a good curveball. There's a strike and a count 0-2. 4-3-0 for St. Louis, 0-1-0 for the Sox here in the bottom of the third inning. Baldwin has thrown his 24th and 25th homers of the season. A 23-year-old youngster out of Valdosta, Georgia. Inside. The pitch up out over the plate, and he just did get a piece of it. Full count. That fastball misses. There's a curveball. Nick Frank will take it himself, but some damage is done. First two men get on. J.D. Drew cranks out his 6th homer. And we'll go to the top of the 4th, trailing by 4. Nick Frank will lead off the top of the 4th inning. And can't get that one up out over the plate. Solo homer by Fernando Tatis and a 3-run shot by that youngster right there, J.D. Drew. And Bottenfield's got himself a 4 spot. Frank walked his first trip. That curveball popped up, going foul and out of play. Frank on that 8-game hitting streak.
Like Wilson Alvarez in the middle with that mustache.
Wow. Off the outside corner. No, Frank get us started right here. Pretty good pitch by Bottenfield, and Frank fouls it off. Milwaukee leading Kansas City 2-1. That's after 2.5 at County Stadium. It sounded like a broken bat. Little ground ball. Joe McEwing. The lead man gone. Of course, Sox will board their plane after the game tonight, head on to Milwaukee, get in the wee hours of the morning, have that day game tomorrow at County Stadium. Jim Parquet against Bill Pulsifer. On Monday, Pat Daneker against Kyle Peterson. And on Tuesday, it'll be Mike Soroka against Steve Woodard. Woodard's won about 7 in a row.
Yes, he has. He's been red hot.
And Tuesday, of course, will be our next game coming your way right here over WGN Sports. Finale of that 3-game set. And the Sox will conclude this 8-game road trip with 2 in Minnesota. 2-0 the count to Mags Ordonez. Mags was robbed of extra bases and an RBI in the first inning on a beautiful catch by Darren Bragg. Frank scalded one into right center field. Bragg got a great jump, stayed with it, and made the play. There's a tough hop. Tatis has got him underneath. Over to Dunston. That's out number 2.
The Coca-Cola Silver and Black Pack is a kids fan club for Sox fans 14 and under. Kids who join get free White Sox tickets and cool souvenirs. Plus, they can participate in an on-field parade. Membership is just $15. Call 312-674-5367 for a Silver and Black Pack application. Here's some prospective clients.
Carlos hits the first pitch into right field. That's a can of corn for Darren Bragg. This is going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Kent Bottenfield. And He got himself, after 4 innings of work right here for him, 4-run lead. He's given up 1 hit. Nothing bad guys here in the bottom of the 4th inning. As a Cardinal fan, he's happy. He's a beauty. Fernando Tatis 1 for 1. A solo homer is 19th. Coming with 2 out in the 2nd inning. Breaking pitch, and quickly the count 0-2. So Baldwin last year, who had such a tremendous second half at 10-3. Well, JB is just really scuffling out there.
Well, you know, the long ball has been a major part of his problem this year, too. What is it, 24, 25 now? You know, he's given up. It looks like he's got good stuff out there. I mean, he's running that fastball up there anywhere from 91 to 93 miles an hour. And his curveball, he has locked some hitters with a great hook. And all of a sudden, he's down 4 runs after 3 innings. Go figure.
Well, there's sometimes a guy gets out there on the mound, and in this case, Marty Contreras and or Jerry Manuel and or the whole entire staff is just at a loss because they feel like the guy is throwing the ball well, or as well as he has when he's been successful in the past. There's a curveball. He's gone. He'll grab some bench, and that's out. Number 1.
And that's
they
his
say it's nothing wrong mechanically. They say it's nothing wrong physically. There's nothing wrong with his arm. And in that interview did with Jerry Manuel prior to the game with me, he said James has got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. I mean, that is not uncommon. That's not to say that, you know, there are a lot of pitchers in the same boat that Baldwin is in. Guys who are throwing the ball well. There's nothing wrong with them physically, and yet they're just getting hammered.
Go figure.
Well, you know, I had a long, obviously, many long talks as there's a curveball low to Aaron Bragg, and they had a situation one time with Richard Dotson. When he was with the Sox, he was going out there. He had a good fastball. He had a good curveball, and he was just getting rocked. And Drysdale, who, in my opinion, was the smartest guy I ever met about pitching. He was a great flaw picker. He said there's nothing wrong with it. And, I mean, at this point, I mean, Dot was just getting hammered every time he'd go out there, just like James. He'd give up 2 or 3 home runs. First thing you know, after 2 or 3 innings, he's down 4 or 5 runs. And what Don explained was the fact that a lot of times pitchers get out there and they're trying so hard to get out of this rut that they're in, they just get locked in on that mitt, the catcher's mitt, as there's a little chopper. Baldwin's got to make a throw. He does. And that's out number 2. But Don was saying how a pitcher gets out there, he gets so locked in on that mitt and is oblivious to the hitter. He said at that point, he said he better start pitching to the hitter rather than pitching to the mitt. And you watch the reactions of the hitters. Now, most pitchers will pitch to the mitt. They'll try to go through the catcher's mitt. And sometimes that just does not work. Drysdale said many times, according to who he was pitching to, he just watched the reaction of the hitter. And the hitter would tell him how he was going to pitch it. He said, forget about all the scouting reports that they went over prior to the game, meetings and everything else. He said he just wanted to see how that hitter was going to react to him, because hitters reacted to him differently than they reacted to other pitchers.
You know, that's a great point, too, because Tatis is a good example of that. His first at-bat, James locked him with a curveball. I mean, absolutely, he had no chance, just like the last one he struck him out on. Just locked him, his knees buckled and everything else. If you'd have been watching that, you got to think, hey, this guy cannot hit my curveball. All of a sudden, the 3-2 count, he gives him a fastball right there, and he hits it out of the ballpark because he reacted to it.
McEwing fouls that one off in the count 2-1. And let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
On with Tom Vittori, Ken Harrelson from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. 4-0. And continuing on with that, you can get out there, and if you miss just a hair, just a little bit, the catcher wants it on the outside corner, and you miss an inch or two towards the middle of the plate, that ball's liable to be hit 450 feet. Or the same thing from the inside corner. So the pitcher really is locked in so much on that mitt. He's oblivious to the hitter. First thing you know, you look up at that scoreboard, and you're down 4 or 5 runs.
And it's interesting, too, because a pitcher, a lot of time, some of the pitching coaches that I had were great at picking out flaws in my swing in batting practice. Pitch grounded foul. And so why couldn't a guy do that during the course of a ball game? See the way the guy is approaching me. If I'm pitching to me and go to my apparent weakness just by my approach to every pitch.
Well, something's got to be done because JB has got a good fastball. He's got a good curve. And yet he is getting hammered. McEwing, get foul. It is. Thank you very much. A lot of times what happens when that guy gets out on that mound, he's pitching to nothing but the mitt. He loses his instincts. And when you lose your instincts out on that mound, you better have superior stuff and superior control. You better have a 95-plus fastball and the best hook around, or you're going to get lit up.
Yeah, because chances are you're not going to be pitching to the weakness of the hitter that way.
Again, the hitter will tell you. The hitter will tell you how to pitch it. The hitter will tell you how to pitch it if you watch it. There's a breaking ball. Good pitch to hit. Rodriguez on the move over to Frank, and that'll do it. So he retires the side in order, but after 4, he trails it 4-0.
I think it all lies within JB. I think JB has to figure out himself what he needs to do to become the pitcher that he was the second half of last year. There's nothing mechanically wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with his arm or anything such as that. So it lies with JB as to what he's able to do here tonight.
Brooke Fordyce has just hit the first pitch to the shortstop, Edgar Renteria. 1 pitch, 1 out, as indeed. That's it. Baldwin's not the only pitcher in that situation, in that predicament. There are a lot of guys, but also Jerry Manuel's talking about how the clock is running right now. Here's Craig Wilson. Fly to Darren Bragg in right field. And you could bring in Drysdale. You could bring in some of the best pitching coaches in the history of the game. And they're not going to tell Baldwin how to throw the ball any better than he's throwing it because he's not capable of throwing it any better. And yet he's getting lit up. Yeah. So you might as well change the mental approach. Try to change the mental approach, nothing physical. There's a strike and the count 2-1.
Well, you said something interesting last inning. You said the pitcher will tell you. The hitter will tell you how to pitch to him. Exactly. If he's off the plate, he wants the ball away. If he's right on top of the plate, he wants the ball in.
Just that, in a way, it's just that simple. I'll never forget talking with Sandy Koufax and Norm Sherry was the guy who turned Koufax's career around. Norm was a catcher.
Sure.
And Sandy was really struggling at the big league level. Of course, Koufax had better stuff
than anybody alive.
That's
yeah.
Right. But he couldn't throw a strike. And all of a sudden, they were loosening up. He's not coming in the game, but they're loosening up down in the bullpen one day. And there's a shot base hit right back through the middle. So Craig Wilson comes up with the second Sox hit. 1 out. And you saw the activity down in the Sox pen. Baldwin being the next hitter after Liu Rodriguez. But he said all of a sudden, Norm made a motion with his hand to get Sandy's hand out a little bit rather than in close to over his head.
Right.
And he said all of a sudden it was just like somebody turning a light switch on. It clicked. And from that point out, he started throwing strikes in his history because there for about 6 years, Sandy Koufax may have been the greatest pitcher to ever play this game.
Right.
That's down low. Ball 1 to Rodriguez, who grounded out to second base. You know, we talk so often about the mental aspect of the game. As Jerry Manuel was talking about how this is such a mental game. Every game is mental. I don't care what game it is, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, golf, tennis. You see so many wonderful talents out there in all these sports that never achieve anywhere close to the fulfillment of their potential or their ability. And where it lies is right between the ears so many times. And that's one reason I think sports psychology is just in its infancy. Just in its infancy in sports. That ball hit into left center field. Ray Langford is there making the call. Has the ball for out number 2.
Well, I think one of the problems that players have today is they become a little bit more robotic, more mechanical, and you know, mechanical oriented rather than the thinking part of the game, which is the, you know, certainly the most important. You know, obviously there's no mechanical problems with Baldwin, but the thinking part has got to be off right now. You see that with hundreds of guys, though. I mean, he's not the only one.
No. I mean, in every sport, there are thousands of guys. James struck out his first trip. He's going up there hacking. It's all right. Give yourself a chance. He might hit your bat.
He might hit his bat. That's right.
One and one the count. Well, the sports psychology end of it is intriguing to me because of the fact, as I said, I think it's just in its infancy. Pretty good riff right there of allowing guys to understand themselves better to the degree of, until you can understand yourself better, chances are you're not going to realize who the hell you are.
Sure. Yeah, everybody needs to see a shrink once in a while.
Look at this. He's going to give himself a chance, and he gets the job done. That's extra bases for Baldwin. Is he going to wave Wilson around? He's going to score. So it's a 4-1 ball game. He didn't hit his bat. James hit the ball right there, but he's huffing and puffing. He's blowing down there at third.
How about that? Just a rocket down that right field line. Braggs, who's been everywhere. Well, that's a decent pitch. It's right on the outside corner. He goes with it perfectly. No chance for the right fielder. Thank goodness it didn't bounce over the fence. Now, a little problem with the relay. They were going to have a close play at home, but McEwing couldn't handle the throw.
They had a good shot at home.
Oh, yeah.
But with 2 out, Wallace Johnson going to send him. Ray Durham takes the bunt, takes the curveball high. So it's 4-3-0 for the Cardinals, 1-3-0 for the Sox.
Well, you remember we used to have a team hypnotist back in the early 80s, Harvey Mizell. Come and visit us.
Well, there's a little difference in, I think, in that particular time frame, the acceptance of it as opposed to, you know, almost at the end of the millennium, so to speak.
Oh, sure.
Because they made so many advances.
Tell you what that stuff does really is it helps you relax. And if you can relax, you can perform a heck of a lot better than when you're tense.
Well, pressure is the biggest killer of performance in any sport. The pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah.
The biggest killer of performance in any sport. Curveball on the 3-0 count. Drops it over. Chris Singleton on deck. And if you can learn how to alleviate or structure that pressure and that tension that builds up and put it someplace else where it can become positive rather than destructive, then you got something working for yourself. That's ball 4. So good speed aboard. Second walk issued by Bidenfield. There's another case, Mike. Mike's battling himself. Anytime you see an athlete, in this case a baseball player, who's battling himself, I'll tell you, I never was a believer of that until last year I went to one to see what it was like. And this Dr. Richard Schwartz there in Chicago, and I'll tell you what, it was amazing. Yes, Chris, there's a base hit. So Baldwin's going to score. Durham on his way to third, and it's a 4-2 ball game. Chris Singleton picks up his 44th ribby.
Well, he took advantage of that hole between first and second, the runner being held on, the walk to Durham. There's a curveball, inner half. Hits it hard on the ground, and we talk about this surface here at St. Louis. It is real hard. It's just like the artificial surface that they used to have.
Here's Big Frank. He is walked. He is grounded to second. Pops this ball up into right field. Bragg giving chase, and it's going to be foul. Thank goodness. Come on, Frank. Knock him in or knock them in. Oh, what a big base hit by Baldwin. RBI double with 2 out. And then the walk to Durham and the base hit by Singleton. Sox right back in this Wago. Now feel way around to the right. Out of play, and very quickly to count 0-2.
Frank, boy, look at this. 284 with runners in scoring position, but since June 7th, just 118.
He's been scuffing.
Really
Another guy that might, could use some counseling of that nature.
Without a doubt. With runners on base. Ha.
As I said, I went to Dr. Schwartz last year, and I just did it as an experiment to try it out. And I tell you what, I couldn't wait to go back and back and back and back again. It was amazing.
So you ready for a comeback?
No, not in baseball.
Oh. Basketball?
Yeah. That's outside 1-2. Well, I'll tell you how it went. When I won the golf tournament down in the Marinos.
Yeah.
Dick Schwartz was the first guy I called after the thing.
Isn't that
I told him, I said, Dick, I couldn't have done it without you. So it just goes to show you at any age or whatever.
Right.
That's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Here in the top of the 5th inning.
So that old saying, if I knew then what I know now, ha!
Tell you what, I wish I'd have had him when I was playing baseball.
I know, but yeah, if you were a kid though, you'd say, yeah, right.
Exactly. That's what you got to overcome.
No.
Full count. Ball 4 base hit. Big hurt. I imagine he's going to get something decent to hit. Mag's on deck. He's not going around Frank to get to Mag.
No.
And that's ball 4. So Frank falls behind 0-2, comes back, draws his second walk of the game. That'll load him up for Ordonez and Dave Duncan out of that Cardinal dugout.
And here's one of those big outs for St. Louis in Bottenfield. Boy, it looked like he was going to cruise through this ball game. Everything was going his way until James Baldwin drove in that run with a I don't know if we gave him a triple on that or a double, but
I imagine it was a double.
But boy, then the walk to Durham, a big hit by Chris Singleton, the runner being held on base, and all of a sudden bases are loaded for the Sox All-Star.
Well, one thing too, after that, there were 2 out when all this occurred. Then you had to walk to Durham. You had the base hit by Singleton, which scored Baldwin. And then a lot of pitches right there to Frank. It's going to give JB a little more time to catch a breather.
Yeah, that's real important.
Sox packed with good guys. Mag's 0 for 2. He was robbed of a base hit. That ball hit deep, way back. Hey, look up. You can put it on the board. Yes! A grand slam homer by Max Ordonez, and the Sox lead at 6-4. Mercer.
Wow! Now there are some happy campers annihilates first pitch fastball from Bottenfield. That's his 20th homer. He now has driven in 76 on the year. He is truly an all-star. Take a look at it. Fastball right down the middle, and he creams it. No doubt about this one.
He's something. Carlos Lee grounds that curveball away, and the count 0-2. Well, these young Sox, as all Sox fans who've been watching them all season long, they will not roll over. They will not quit. They just keep coming back. You can beat them, but you're going to have to beat them.
Well, you know, it was interesting. I was listening to Tony La Russa's pregame show with Jack Buck on the radio, and he was telling me about he was happy the way the Cardinals matched the White Sox intensity in the first 2 ball games. I thought that was a great compliment to Jerry Manuel and his team.
There's a chopper. Tatis makes the right decision coming in. Over to Dunson, but some damage is done. Keyed by a huge hit by James Baldwin and the grand slam homer by Maggs. Halfway home, Sox by 2. A big hit by Baldwin with 2 out. Knocking in Craig Wilson. Then the bases loaded. Maggs Ordonez, a grand slam homer, his 2nd salami of the season, his 20th of the year. And as Wimpy mentioned, now with 76 RBIs, and the Sox lead it 6-4. Yes.
How about it? 8 RBIs in the last 2 ball games, and Bragg took an extra 1 away from him in the first inning with that great play in right center.
Here's the catcher, Eli Marrero. First pitch strike. Marrero started off that 3-run third with a base hit into left field. Curveball high into center. Can of corn for Singleton.
And White Sox souvenir cups from ESPN Radio 1000, the home of John Rooney and Ed Farmer, will be given out this Friday at 3:05 when the Blue Jays come to town. The first 20,000 fans will get them. For tickets, call 312-831-1SOX.
So here's Bottenfield. Had a sacrifice. Reached on a fielder's choice as he takes ball 1. Two and 0 the count. There's a strike. In a Yankee 11-4 victory over the Braves at the stadium. Pettit the winner, Perez the loser, Grimsley a save. Williams, Jordan went deep for the Braves, Knobloch, and Bernie Williams went deep for New York. Houston beats the Tigers 3-2. Wagner the winner, Jones the loser. Craig Biggio his 9th, and Jeff Bagwell his 30th.
How about Derek Bell? He walked the winning run in. And it was insulting for him to hit 6th in that lineup.
Just gets a piece of the curve. Cincinnati beats Colorado 3-2. Williamson the winner, DePoto the loser. Larry Walker at his 26th. Greg Vaughn is 22nd. There's the shot. So Bottenfield repays. Frank had been there. If Maggs would have given it a shot, Frank wasn't on the base.
They had a play at first.
If it was a good throw, it would have been close.
There it is, a line shot to right field. Maggs is playing him perfectly, but just, you know, a little deeper. And he's thinking about it. I've seen Ed Lynch. I was a teammate of Lynch, and pitching for the Mets in San Francisco. They gunned him down by about 5 feet.
Like I said, if Frank had been on the bag, Maggs would have turned it loose. Here's J.D. Drew, 1 for 2. A 3-run homer. Takes that pitch down low. running back of Bidenfield's. That's off the end of the bat into center field. Singleton cannot get there. Chris did not read or hear that one real well. So 1 out, 2 on.
Yeah, Chris didn't get a good jump on that one. It was off the end of the bat. J.D. Drew has been swinging the bat pretty well in this series. So he gets another knock. And Renteria is a very tough out as the hitter with Dunston on deck.
And while Nardi goes out there, we'll check some of the scores for you. Twinkies shut out the Cubs 8-0. Mays the winner, Mulholland the loser. Benny Hocking his third homer. Philadelphia thumped Boston at Fenway 11-3. Wolf the winner, 5-0. Portugal the loser, 5-7. Garcia Perro hit his 15th. Activity, double barrel style, Sean Lowe and Brian Ward. Tampa Bay beats the Mets 3-2. 3-8-0 for the Devil Rays, 2-8-0 for the Metropolitans. So here's Edgar. Twice he has gone out to Singleton. Curveball high. Blue Jays scored 5 in the 8th inning to beat the Fighting Fish 6-1. At Skydome. Wells the winner, 10-6. Edmondson the loser, 3-4. Here's a base hit in the hole. Bidenfield's going to be held at third. So that'll load him up with 1 out.
A lot of top spin on this one. Boy, that ball gets through this infield so quick. Just goes down and gets it. Look at Wilson, really doesn't have a chance to react.
So here's Dunston, and if you're just joining us, he came on after Mark McGuire struck out the end of the first inning. His back tightened up on him, the lower back. Mark had to leave the ball game. Dunston's been to the plate one time, and he flied to center. Six 5-0 for the Sox, 4-6-0 for the Cardinals. Good breaking pitch. Might be Baldwin's last man if he can't do anything with him. Got the fastball up. Dunston underneath it. So James in good shape right here. 0-2. 48,650 in attendance tonight.
I'll tell you what, Sean Dunston's been a real good fastball hitter for a lot of years. I got to try and hook him. Get my best hook. He has thrown some good ones tonight. Try and lock him up.
There's a curveball. Rodriguez. Durham. Throwers wide and high. Taking Frank off the bag. Bidenfield scores, and it's a 6-5 ball game. Good throw gets him.
Boy, a good hard slide in the second base by Renteria.
So here's Langford. Struck out, and he's grounded to first. Ball hit deep into center field. Chris is back there. He's got room right on the track. Reaches up, hauls it in. He just missed it. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 6th. It's the Sox by 1. 6-5 Sox lead. Sox coming up with that 6th spot last inning. Bottenfield. Well, he spent a lot of time on the bases out there. And he will face Fordyce, Wilson, and Rodriguez. Brook over 2. He's flied to center, and he's grounded to short. Takes strike 1. One to count. Jump on him right here. Cardinals do have some activity down in that pen. There's Garrett Stevenson. Catch him before he can get his second breath. That's up high and a count 3-1. Don't help him out. Dan Jiggett's favorite Cardinal player.
Who?
Pottenfield.
Why, because he looks like a lineman? He's a big guy.
Well, he is.
Pottenfield about 240 is what they list him at. 6'3".
Ball 4 base hit. Brook just did get a piece of it. Three home runs in the ball game if you're just tuning in. Solo shot by Tatis in the second. 3-run homer by J.D. Drew in the third. Ball hit hard. Renteria controls. Low throw. Scooped up nicely. Wait a minute now. That ball hit the dirt.
No, they changed that rule.
They changed it since the opener here?
Yeah.
Since Thursday?
Well, Renteria, well, that ball fell right in front of him. Fortunately for him, he just picked it up, and you always got to pick it up with your bare hand. Dunston with a good pick at first.
So here's Wilson. Takes that curveball down low. Craig started off that 6-run fifth with a one-out single. That's up high. I'll tell you what, in the first two games of this series, we have had some outstanding umpiring behind the plate. First game, it was Jerry Crawford, and last night, Paul Nauert. Really did an outstanding job. There he is, fills in for some of the regular umpires. They're taking some time off. There's a strike in the count, 3-1. So Bottenfield throwing a lot of pitches here in the top of the 6th inning.
I mean, umpires get time off?
Why, certainly.
I thought they worked nonstop.
Full count to Wilson. Little Liu, Rodriguez on deck. Little flipper in the right center field. Bragg's there. 0-2 gone.
And the Dominic's Value Sox Pack is a great family savings of up to 20% on game tickets, parking, concession items, Comiskey Park entertainment, and more. Stop by the Ticketmaster counter at any area Dominic's Finer Foods for details.
Rodriguez grounded to second and flied to left. Corners in close. Tatis in on the grass. As that pitch taken up high.
Come on, Lily Lou.
Oh, pull a string on him right there. A few change-ups he has thrown. Brownsburg, Indiana is Bottenfield. Follows that change-up with a fastball. Curveball, little chopper. Bottenfield barehands it, sets, guns in time. So he comes back, gets himself a 1-2 inning, and after 5.5, it's the Sox by 1. Sox leading 6-5 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and a couple of changes for the good guys. Moving into shortstop for Liu Rodriguez. It'll be a double switch right here. Will be Mike Caruso. And coming on for James Baldwin, it'll be Sean Lowe. Wimpy.
Well, James has a chance to win this ball game, which is good. And Sean Lowe's been terrific all year. 3-0 at .272 earned run average on the season. 46 hits and 56 in the third. 4 homers, 23 walks, 32 strikeouts for the former Cardinal. Didn't have a whole lot of success in that St. Louis uniform. Former #1 draft pick by the St. Louis Ball Club, was traded over the winter for pitcher John Ambrose. It's been a great trade for the Sox.
Fernando Tatis 1 for 2. Cranked out his 19th homer. Back in the 2nd inning. 6-5-0 for the Sox. 5-6-0 for the Cardinals. Slider right off the end of the bat. And I got some email here. Whipperoo. I love email. This one from, who is this from? Ed Coconato. All right. There's a strike. And a count 0-2 from Phoenix, Arizona. So just moved out here to Arizona. I'm still a big White Sox fan. Watch all the games over WGN. Heart's still on the south side. Go Sox. The kids can indeed play. That's into right center field. Maggs on the run. He's there. Here's one from Sarah from Oak Lawn. Says, why is Wimpy called Wimpy? Wimpy?
We're not going to answer.
Why you call Wimpy?
I get beat up a lot.
Here's Darren Bragg. I'll tell you why, Sarah from Oak Lawn, in just a second. Bragg is 0 for 2, a strikeout. Bounce back to the pitcher. Because when Wimpy was playing for Tommy Lasorda in minor leagues and in winter ball and all those years, which were a lot of years, Sarah.
Very lot of years.
Everybody else was eating steaks, and Wimpy, all he wanted to do was eat hamburgers.
They were bigger.
And there used to be a cartoon character way back when, and Popeye called Wimpy, who would pay you on Wednesday for a hamburger on Tuesday.
No, because I'd pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Okay. Wimpy got used to that, Sarah. And so Lasorda gave him the nickname Wimpy. How long ago was that? 35 years ago?
32 years ago, yeah. And Lasorda never paid for any hamburgers, believe me.
Well, about 4 years ago, Sarah, Wimpy also wanted to change that. He said 30 years of Wimpy is enough. As that pitch fouled down, so he started calling himself Duke, which really didn't go over pretty well.
Has it caught on or what?
Didn't go over very well. So that's how you get to be called Wimpy. It's not because Wimpy's 6'4", 220, All-American football player, so it's certainly not because he is soft and easy. Little ground ball. Tough hop. Craig stays with it, guns him out. 2 gone. And if you want to email us. Here it is, SoxTV@interaccess.com. Here's one from Mike and Sean in Woodstock. Says, I was wondering how Kip Wells is doing down in Birmingham. Well, I want to tell you, Kip Wells won last night. He is now 4-0. This young man with an outstanding arm. Outstanding fastball, outstanding curveball, outstanding makeup. He is doing very well, Mike and Sean from Woodstock.
Yeah. Well, his ERA is 2.33.
I'm talking about the minor leagues. We've got a little something built for you. There's Joe Grube. There's a strike on the outside corner, which we'll show you hopefully in this inning. We get a foul ball or next inning. Jeff Leefer, all you Jeff Leefer fans, which we were so happy when he went down to Charlotte to get himself some playing time. He had a pretty good day yesterday. That hit him. He wasn't trying to do that. And right now, let's check out that farm report. Here you see Jeff Leefer, a homer, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs as the Charlotte Knights defeated Columbus. It's the Yankee team. 12-7. Chad Mottola continued. He's leading that league in hitting. He was 3 for 5, scored 3 runs. And look at Kip Wells, 4th one of the season, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So Wells 4-0 as the Barons beat Mobile 7-1. There's John Snyder, 2-0 record at Charlotte. Don, another guy, same situations we were talking about with JB earlier. Got to find out himself. Not going to get any help mechanically. He was throwing the ball well. He just wasn't making the pitches. Wasn't not as aggressive as he had been when he won on
6 in a row, wasn't it?
Yeah, he lost his first one and then went 6-0 to make his record 6-1.
Now, we had already made his reservations for the All-Star game at Boston. And he really fell on some hard times.
You know, there's a guy in golf who's helping a lot of players in that same thing, Bob Rotella. He was very familiar with the golf scene, and he has done some tremendous work with a lot of those athletes. There's that pitch outside. Scott Radinsky, former Sox southpaw. So 2-1 to count with 2 out to Eli Marrero. McEwing at first. That ball hit hard in the right center field, but Chris Singleton is tracking. He's there. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. We'll go to the 7th. It's the Sox by 1. As you peruse our Southwest Airlines tail of the tape, top of the 7th inning, Ken Bottenfield trying to pick up his 15th victory of the season against just 3 losses. And he will face Caruso, Durham, and Singleton. $48,650 in attendance. 46,909 last night. 40,000 plus on Thursday. A lot of fannies and a lot of seats here at Busch Stadium. So here's Mike, 261 a homer. Outfield playing him pretty deep. Corners in close. Takes the bunt, and he takes ball 1. Check some other action for you. Seattle beat San Diego at Safeco Field 9-1. As there's ball 2 to Caruso. That Seattle game. Russ Davis hit his 18th. A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez hit his 19th. And Ibanez hit his 1st in that ball game. There's a strike in the count 2-1. D-backs beat Texas 8-6. Plesac the winner. Wetland the loser. As that pitch popped up into left field, short left field. Now Renteria going back. 1 gone. In an Arizona-Texas game, D-backs won it 8-6. Jay Bell hit his 26th home run. Stinnett hit his 8th. And then Jay Bell hit his 27th home run. Wow.
That's amazing.
Greer hit his 8th. And Gonzalez his 25th. So here's Ray. He's 1 for 2. Ray doing that almost every at-bat, which I love. Taking that bunt, drawing that third baseman in even closer. And the first baseman. Tatis several steps in on the grass at third as he fouls that pitch back to even the count at 1. Milwaukee now leading Kansas City 5-1. That's after 4.5. At County Stadium, where the Sox will be tomorrow afternoon, Monday and Tuesday, for that 3-game series with the Brewers. On the inside corner, nice pitch right there by Bottenfield. Dodgers thump the Angels 13-3. Park the winner, Sparks the loser. Mondesi is 20th. Karras is 18th. Pena is 3rd. Karras also went deep again for his 19th. That pitch fouled down. So with the count 1-2 to Durham, let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN, Chicago.
Along with the very multi-talented, multifaceted Wimperoo, Big Bob, the Duke Meister, Tom Paciorek, Ken Harrelson from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Finale of this 3-game set. It is the rubber match.
You're just saying that because it's true.
Well, you went to see those guys. They helped you out.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason you're playing such good golf now, huh?
I didn't see that guy.
You're still looking for him, huh?
Oh, good
Curveball. Took a lot off, had Ray way off balance out in front. 2 gone.
Yeah, that was 74 miles an hour right there. He had been throwing that thing about 80, 81 early on. Good pitch by Bottenfield.
So here's Chris. He's 1 for 3. It was a big base hit back in the 5th when the Sox picked up all 6 of their tallies. If you're just joining us, RBI number 44 for Singleton. Got that breaking ball up. Souvenir left side. Tatis loves to spend time in on that grass. At third is that fastball up and in. That's low and in. Reel him in, Chris. Big Frank on deck. Three and one. Now you got a free swing if you so desire.
Well, it's one of the things that Chris Singleton has done so well in his adjustment stages. Working the count in his favor. Boy, taking those pitches that he can't handle. Oh, he's a little tardy on that fastball.
Well, this young man here, Singleton, working with Vine, also Mags Ordonez, Carlos Lee. To be, especially Carlos and Mags, to be that young and make the adjustments they've made.
Terrific.
Very unusual. That ball hit deep.
Stay fair.
Stay fair.
Come on.
It is just foul, says Eric Gregg. Just foul.
Couple of feet at the most. Boy. Tell you what, you know, Jerry, Manuel talked in our pregame show a little bit about how they asked Singleton to lay off the weights a little bit. Boy, I'll tell you, his bat is so quick now. And he's got that great football mentality, too, a quiet type of competitor. Really, really tough, though.
A quiet toughness.
Yes. Look at this. Oh, man.
Just foul.
He can play on my team anytime.
Chops that one foul. So Singleton cutting and slashing. The young man right there has made some adjustments.
Oh, has he ever?
He's hit everywhere he's been, though. I mean, you know, led the American Association before he came up to the Sox and hitting. Another foul. You know, I was just thinking as we were talking about the sports psychologist, Wimpy, too. Another guy. And again, it's just not our organization. It's just that we're more familiar with the guys in our organization. Every organization is the same. Every organization has the same kind of situation. But another guy that really could help would be a guy like Jeff Abbott.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a guy who's had great success.
Yeah.
What, 340 in the minor leagues.
There's a good at bat for Chris. Takes that curveball low, and here comes Big Frank.
Walk number 4 by Bottenfield. Boy, Abbott really jumps out at you, though.
Yeah.
Boy, the way he had struggled. You know, you saw it in spring training. You know, he hit a little over 300, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't.
He wasn't the same guy.
No. Because huge things were expected of him.
He can hit. There's no question about that. It's just a question of when he's going to get it back. As Frank pops it up right side. Foul ground. Dunston makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch from Busch Stadium. A 6-5 good guy. So Willie McGee has come out to hit for Bottenfield. Local favorite here, and deservedly so.
Willie's had some great years here. 296 career average, most of that in the Cardinal uniform. Batting title and MVP.
Willie was always the guy that you could just warm up to, you know, just watching him, even though he was over in the National League as he takes ball 1. You just warmed up to Willie McGee. Well, he could hit.
Oh, yeah.
He could run.
Play center field.
Wilson in close at third as that pitch up high. So Sean Lowe behind in the count. 2-0. J.D. Drew on deck. And Edgar Renteria in the hole. Outfield straight up. Pours that fastball over. Three and 1. No walks, Sean. No walks. Make him hit his way on. You can live with that. Fouls that one back. So Willie McGee, who has scored 999 runs in his career. And he has 347 stolen bases.
And this is his 17th year in the major leagues.
There's a chopper Durham, the 2-hopper.
Yes.
So Sean Lowe comes back to get him, and a big out. That'll bring up the center fielder J.D. Drew, 2 for 3. Single in the 5th. He grounded out the 1st and in the 3rd with 2 men on. Got his 6th homer of the season. We're talking about the injuries that the Cardinals have had. Drew was hurt earlier. Also did not perform that well. Been a disappointment, as has Eli Marrero. Really, if you're looking for the Cardinals as far as an upside go, they should be a team with an upside in the second half. Of course, they've got a long way to go. 2 games under and 8.5 back.
Yeah. Well, Alan Bennis always impressed with great stuff. If they can get him back for some sort of run. Morris looks like he's out for the season from what everybody tells us around here. Boy, he had good stuff.
Here's Allen. Brother of Andy.
Yeah, big, strong right-hander.
Remember that game he pitched against us in spring training?
Oh, yeah, he was brilliant.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
That was when Sox were in Sarasota. Pull the string on him right there.
You know, Donovan Osborne. No, he said he had a 13-win season for the Cardinals. He's out with an injury.
A real good change right here, or high fastball. Fastball up. Outfield straight up, spread out. Gas, he's gone. He'll grab some bench for out number 2.
I don't know if that one's 94 miles an hour, but that's what they had it on the gun. And he just threw that one right on by him. Look at this. Looks like a pretty good pitch to hit from a location standpoint. Just below the belt, out over the plate. See ya.
So here's Renteria. Take strike 1. We're talking about Jerry Crawford and Paul Nauert. First 2 games did a terrific job behind the plate. Hey, Brian Gorman had a tough night at first last evening, having a good game behind the plate
Darn
tonight.
right. Yeah, we've had 3 excellent ball games from the home plate umpire in this series. Real good.
Fouls that one away, and a count of ball and 2 strikes to the 23-year-old shortstop Edgar Renteria. That's high. Breaking ball gets away from Fordyce, so Renteria will reach.
Fishing for that curveball in the dirt, and Brooke Fordyce couldn't keep it in front of him, so that'll be a wild pitch and a strikeout.
Brooke closing that glove a little too quick, caught him on the thumb. So that'll keep the inning alive for Sean Dunston. Dunston 0 for 2, but he has knocked in a run. First pitch strike on the inner half. Boy, Dunston. He was in that Cub uniform, had one of the great arms you ever want to see from the shortstop position.
Yes, sir.
He had a gun.
Yeah, Sean could really run, too.
Yeah, he could. Had good power. 0-2. He's always had a quick bat.
Yeah, good fastball hitter. That's why right now ahead of him, I got to see if he can hit my breaking ball. Of course, he's having a great year for these guys at 344 as he stands in. Got an RBI last time up on the Fielder's Choice. He's got 25 on the season with 5 homers.
Flips that one foul, souvenir right side.
And you can order White Sox publications. Great White Sox player and historical team photos, plus 1999 Sox game programs, media guides, yearbooks, and more. Call 312-674-1000 for details.
So into the count to the 36-year-old veteran. Sean coming into this season a .269 lifetime hitter.
Remember the Sean-o-meter?
Yeah. Off the end of the bat into center field. Chris Singleton is there. He's Johnny on the spot. Can of corn. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side. Cardinals can't score. We'll go to the 8th. It's still 6-5. Good guys. Sean Lowe getting a little pat on the head right there from Paul Konerko. Well, he has really done a terrific job for the Sox. He has been. Well, he came over from the Cardinals for John Ambrose, and what a job he has done. Turns out to be another good deal, another good trade for Ron Schuler. But right now we have a pitching change for Kent Bottenfield, Wimpy. 27-year-old right-hander Garrett Stevenson.
And his numbers are not real good now. 7.71 ERA in 5 games. 385 is what baseball is hitting against him. 15 hits and 9 1/3. 2 homers. He can strike you out, though. 2 walks and 10 punch-outs. Big guy, 6'5", 208-pounder, came over in that trade with the Phillies, along with Ricky Bottalico for Ron Gant and Jeff Brantley and Cliff Polite.
Originally in the Baltimore organization. Saw some time with the Orioles in '96. So here's Maggs. He's 1 for 3. As there's a curveball. Could not check it up, but that one hit was a biggie. 5th inning, sacks packed. First pitch from Bottenfield, way back, and you can put it on the board. Maggs now with 20 homers, 76 knocked in. Breaking ball, no.
See that little donut? Herm Schneider invented that, I believe. I wore one. Yes, he did.
Just for you.
That's the Whipper donut. I used to get jammed so bad my thumb looked like a boxing glove.
Wimpy, you ought to put one of those on every time you hit a wedge shot.
Oh, that hurt.
Just a funny sound.
Tell you what,
you know?
that thing right there is great. It eliminates all the pain.
You don't like pain?
No. Allergic.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a chopper. That's fair ball. Look at the play by Tatis. Can he get him? No. Wow. Great effort by Fernando Tatis. Mercy.
Well, that's as good as it gets right there from a third baseman diving. Look at this. Ball hit right down the third baseline. He's in foul territory. His whole body. And watch, he throws from his knees. And gets a lot on it. Some guys are going to be out.
I'm looking at one and you looking at one.
Wow. What a great effort. Woo!
Here's Carlos. Carlos 0 for 3 tonight. Twice he's gone out to right. Once he's grounded out to Tatis. As he takes ball 1. Outfield straight up. Garrett Stevenson, his dad, was a pitcher in the Pittsburgh organization. Richard. That's outside 2-0. Now reel him in, Carlos. Deep and foul. Right size, wrong shape. High changeup, just a hair quick. So Brian Little talking with Ordonez at first. Maggs has 7 stolen bases in 12 attempts. changeup? I don't think so.
That looks a little facially like Danny Darwin.
He does?
I do. I think he does.
Your what hurts? There goes Maggs. Morello can throw, but not in time. Maggs picks up number 8. And a 2-2 count to Carlos.
There was a changeup, but this is a real good one by Stevenson. And that helped Maggs get in there ahead of the throw by Morero. See, he checks to see if the ball was put into play. The straight leg slide got him in there.
Well, Morero can get it down there. Maggs had a big jump.
Wow, that was close.
Breaking ball hit hard right at Langford.
Gee.
That's a hang whoop'em for Carlos. So Carlos cannot get him over on the hanging curveball from Garrett Stevenson.
Well, it was tough for him to go the opposite way on that pitch.
I tell you, I'd rather see him do what he just did.
Absolutely.
I mean, you get a hanger right there. That ball could have been 2 points in a hurry.
In a heartbeat. He gets any elevation at all, and that is out of here.
Brooke Fordyce 0 for 3. Takes it down low. Yeah, you get a youngster up there in that situation. 22 years old like Carlos is, and you got 2 strikes on you. You get a hanger. The last thing you want to do is see him try to go the opposite field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, chances are, if he's thinking that, I mean, in that direct right field mode, he's going to jam the daylights out of himself. And chances are he's not going to do the job anyway. He had a chance to really do some serious damage right there.
Well, this guy right here looking at Carlos Lee, just 22 as we mentioned. It won't be too long before he's driving in 100 a year.
At least.
That ball hit hard. Langford, he's there. So 2 line shots to Ray Langford and 2 out. Two Adam balls. And here's Craig Wilson. Craig 1 for 3. If you're just tuning in, started off that 6-run 6th inning. Or second, 6-run 5th inning for the Sox with a 1-out single. Craig get a good chance to pick him up. Toughest run in baseball to knock in. Man is second, 2 out. As he takes ball 1. Paul Konerko has come out on deck. Curveball. Maggs thinks better about it, and advisedly so. So we got an opportunity here if Craig makes an out. Or another double or a switch. There's that curveball down low. Three and 0 to Wilson. 6-6-0 for the Sox. 5-6-0 for the Cardinals. That's ball 4. So here comes Konerko hitting for Sean Lowe. Another nice job by that right-hander. Sean working 2 innings, giving up nothing. Couple of strikeouts. Oh, he has done a job, hasn't he, Wimpy?
Oh, he has been terrific. Boy.
I like that new do.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It looked good on you.
Had one.
Been there and done that, huh?
Yeah.
Fastball strike to Konerko. What was that? The Sox won 8 games in a row or something?
Yeah.
You get your head shaved and you did it?
I had to.
We got to have a rerun of that.
No, these guys are a lot better than that team.
Believe me. That's
First time.
1-1.
First time in the history of baseball that a last place team in 10 years won 8 games in a row. Figure that.
And the Whipperoo paid the price.
Yes, sir.
Willingly.
Nah. Just say I paid the price. Grudgingly.
Well, you sure didn't pay the money. I know it was free haircut. Oh, yeah, he hung that one way high. So the count 2-1 to Konerko. Mike Caruso, the on-deck hitter. All right, Paulie, stay back. Not get greedy. You get him in a good spot right here. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 8th. 2-1 count. Reel him in. Fastball. Whew. Paul, a good fastball hitter. Now a little bit of that mo goes back to Garrett Stevenson. Now he got a free pitch here to try to make a good one. Checks it up, full count. Rudinsky still loosening up for the Cardinals down in their pen. So Maggs at second, Wilson at first. Ball hit hard. Langford. He's there. 3 line shots in this inning to Ray Langford. 3 hang whoop'ems. Meanwhile, Sox can't score. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. They lead it by 1. Bottom of the 8th right now. Let's check out our Toyota game summary. There you see 6-6-0 for the Sox, 5-6-0 for St. Louis. Maggs, his second career grand slam, second grand slam this season. McGuire had to leave the ball game. In the second inning, he had tightness in his lower back. So the big man who's had a problem with that. You're that big, that muscular, that strong. Anyway, Brian Ward coming on, Wimpy.
Well, Brian has pitched very well lately. Well, he's got to have a tough job right here to get the very good hitting Ray Langford out. Then Tatis, and then another lefty in Bragg.
Well, it's so important, as we've talked about so often, for the left-handed reliever to be able to throw first pitch breaking ball strike to the left-handed hitters. Here's the 1-0. Fouls it down. That is almost getting to be, from a manager's standpoint, a prerequisite. First thing they want to know is can he throw first pitch breaking ball strike? Because the left-handed relievers who throw hard, well, they can do anything they want to do. They can get you out anyway.
Yeah, you got to be a little funky too.
There's a base hit. So the leadoff man aboard for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Loosening up as Fernando Tatis gets a nice round of applause. He's 1 for 3, his 19th homer, with 1 out in the second inning. Outfield playing him straight up.
That's the ball.
Langford just 2 for 4 in stolen bases. They coming off that BL. He had a abdominal. pull. That's becoming an injury that's almost like fashionable, so to speak, from an injury standpoint. The last 3 or 4 years.
Oh boy, I'll say. Langford's had great speed throughout his career. 227 stolen bases.
Good pitch right there by O'Brien. Had him out in front. Took a little something off. And cues it foul. Tatis is dangerous. Only major league player in history to hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning. Did it against the Dodgers and hit them off the same guy, Sano Park. There's a strike on the outside corner. So the count 0-2 to Tatis. That'll be a great trivia question about 20 years from now.
Won't it?
All right, who's the only guy to ever hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning? All right, who'd he hit them off of?
I don't know. I forgot.
There's a shot. That's a base hit. So here come the Cardinals.
Gummit.
Aaron Jackson gets it back in. Had him 0-2.
Oh, he threw that one right in his wheelhouse.
Brian Ward upset with himself. Now the corners come in. Darren Bragg, he's 0 for 3. He struck out, grounded back to the pitcher, and grounded out to Craig Wilson. Joe McEwing on deck. And here comes the skipper, Jerry Manuel. Well, he's going to go get Seamus. He must have something in his mind. Usually managers want a left-handed pitcher out there in this bunt situation where they got a real good shot at third base. Meanwhile, Ward will depart, and we'll be back to tell you about Bill Seamus. Oh, Jerry Manuel making a bit of a strange move right here. Left-handed hitter Darren Bragg, left-handed pitcher, and Brian Ward. And he opts to go with a right-hander, Billy Seamus. Wimpy?
Well, we'll see how this shapes up. Billy 2-2 with a 4.19 earned run average. He has earned 2 saves. 37 games. 257 is what the league's hitting against him. 38 hits in just over 38 innings. 5 homers, 17 walks, 20 strikeouts. So it's a definite bunt situation, you would think. But Tony La Russa.
Well, I was going to say, with Tony, you never know.
Yeah. Especially now that he's got a lefty versus righty matchup here.
Well, either way, I know Darren Bragg is happy.
You're darn right he is.
Wilson coming in. Here comes Big Frank. That pitch inside, and the count 1-0. Langford at second. Tatis at first. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 White Sox. Standpoint, a lot easier to either hit or bunt a right-hander.
Oh yeah,
unless you got a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hello.
That's popped up, back out of play.
Well, he was in a similar situation the first night of this series. Popped up a bunt attempt.
And he didn't even move from home plate.
That's right.
If the ball hadn't have been right down the first baseline or close to it, Frank could have let it fall, let it drop. Got a quick double play. Frank coming in. There's the bunt. Seamus up with it. Puts a tag on Bragg, so the sacrifice went unassisted. And here comes Joe McEwing. McEwing 0 for 2. He's grounded to second, grounded to short, and he was hit by a pitch. Eli Marrero on deck. He's been scuffling. So I had to load him up. And here comes Marrero. Ricky Batalico. He's been the closer for the Cardinals. Batalico with 12 saves. Now Jerry Manuel wants to come out and make sure that everybody knows exactly what's on his mind.
Thomas Howard has moved into the on-deck circle. So he will bat next. But in the meantime, while we have a moment, it's Lifesavers Bubble Yum Blowout this Saturday. Not this Saturday, but Saturday, July 24th, 6:05. Blue Jays in town. All kids 18 and under can enter a bubble blowing contest. Biggest bubble will win. One lucky kid can win 2 tickets to the 1999 World Series game. Contest starts in the center field concourse when the gates open at 4:30 and runs until the bottom of the 4th. Children under 13 must have consent of parent or guardian. Call 312-831-1SOX.
So now time is called.
Whoa.
Usually what manager will say in that situation to his infielders, look, if you know you can turn a double play, go ahead. Make sure you can turn. If you can't, come home. Snacks packed, 1 out. That's trouble. That's a gapper. That's going to score a few of them right there. Here comes 1. Here comes 2. Here comes 3. 8-6 Cardinal lead. Looked like a hanger. And Eli Marrero did not miss it.
Yeah, a lot of guys are going to hit this pitch. Slider up in the strike zone. Take a look. Ouch. Belt high out of the middle of the plate. And he creamed it right in the gap.
So Marrero's 11th double. Mercy. Thomas Howard. Switch hitter cannot get that one. 8-6 St. Louis. To the count. Outfield straight up. All started off Ryan Ward with that single by Langford, just a soft single between first and second. Then he had Tatis 0-2. He roped one into left field for a base hit. The pitching change with Darren Bragg, the left-handed hitter, coming up. He brings in the right-hander Seamus as Howard's gone. And that's 2 out. So then Darren Bragg with a sacrifice bunt, the intentional walk to McEwing, and then the first pitch, a hanger from Seamus to Marrero, and he unloads him. So here's Drew. He's 2 for 4. JD, a 3-run homer and a single. That's popped up. Somebody foul ground. Caruso making the call. He's got the ball. That'll retire the side, but the damage is done. Bases loaded double by Eli Marrero. And we'll go to the ninth. Sox trail it by 2. The big bases loaded double by the catcher Eli Marrero on the first pitch from Seamus. And the Cardinals lead at 8-6 in a pitching change, Wimpy.
It's Ricky Bottalico who has 12 saves to lead the staff. He is their closer. 1-5 on the year, a .386 earned run average in 43 appearances. A league batting .254 against Ricky this year. 47 hits in 49 innings. That's good. Just 3 homers, 28 walks though, so he can put you on base. And 43 strikeouts. So Ricky, who struggled last year with the Phillies, was injured. But in 96 and 97, he had 34 saves in each of those seasons. So Ricky Bottalico, 6'1", 217-pounder from New Britain, Connecticut. He's 29 years old.
And a defensive change for Sean Dunston. David Howard moves in at first base. Mike Caruso will lead it off. It'll be Caruso. Durham and Singleton. Come on, Mike. Mike. Take strike 1. Mike's been to the plate one time. He popped up to the shortstop. One and 1 to count. Langford, shallow and left. Boy, last inning there could have been some damage done. There were 3 rockets hit right to Langford.
That's right. Could have been a big inning.
That's inside. 93-mile-an-hour fastball by Ricky Bottalico. So the Sox have been shut down except for 1 inning in the 5th where they scored all 6 of their tallies. Highlighted a grand slam homer by Maggs. There's a chopper base hit right back through the middle.
All right. There's a start. Oh, Ray got to the top of the order now. Ray Durham, Singleton, Big Frank, and hopefully Maggs will get a shot.
Tony La Russa telling David Howard to play behind Caruso. So here's Ray. Ray is 1 for 3. He's grounded to second, singled, walked, and struck out. Ray now 7 for 14 in this series. Tatis way in on the grass at third outfield. Just about straight away is that breaking ball inside. Caruso just a short lead as there's a fastball strike. Big pitch right here. Breaking ball high. Now Ray in good shape at 2-1. 8-9-0 for the Cardinals, 6-7-0 for the Sox. Good rip at a fastball.
The New Era Cap Corner is located in the left field corner of the main concourse at Comiskey Park. It's open during all White Sox home games, and you can find a wide variety of White Sox and other team caps in all sizes at the New Era Cap Corner.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Durham. Breaking ball, could not lay off of it, so Durham strikes out. 1 gone.
Ray's done this 2 times in a row now. Last time up against Bottenfield. Curveball, he chased it in the dirt. So that's a big out for St. Louis.
As we talk about, Ray has trouble protecting up and down. He really protects well in and out. So here's Singleton. Chris 1 for 3. Turns that one over, misses outside. This a big RBI single back in the 5th. 1 time, Christopher. Ooh. Fastball. Up out over the plate, and he's underneath it. Cardinals led it 4-0 after 3. Sox, as we mentioned, picked up the 6th in the 5th. Cardinals added 1 in the 5th. And just put that 3 spot on the board last inning. Now Howard way back of Caruso as that pitch off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to Singleton. Now reel him in. Got to be right where you want it. Zone him in. Now that area goes down in size. Look for that gas and let it fly.
That's right. Oh, you worked yourself hard to get to this count.
Here goes Caruso, and that's ball 4. So the tying runs aboard. And here comes Frank with Ordonez on deck. Tonight has walked twice. He's grounded to second, and he's fouled out to first. Big pitch right here in this sequence. Up and in, he misses in the count 1-0.
Well, Batalico's throwing hard, 92-93, but as you pointed out, his walks to innings pitched ratio is not good. It's good for the White Sox standpoint.
There's a shot. That's going to be a base hit in the right field, so Caruso had to hold up. That will load him up for Mags Ordonez.
Wow.
It's all Batalico. Nobody down in that pen as Frank lines it out there, and now Tony La Russa is coming on. You can see Aaron Black right where he should have been, playing deep.
Yeah,
protecting against anything over his head.
Yeah, early in the ball game, he probably would have made the play.
All they're going to talk about right here is how Tony La Russa wants to get after Ordonez. Maggs is 2 for 4 in this ball game. His second career grand slam, his second of the season, coming back in the 5th. And it was on first ball fastball. Then he led off last inning. Hit a shot down the line that Tatis made a great play on, almost got him at first base. So Maggs hitting at .333 to go along with those 20 homers. And 76 knocked in. Come on, Maglio. One more time. And as it was to Frank, here's a big pitch in this sequence. Always the first pitch. Pops him up on a breaking ball. David Howard. And you can bet that's what La Russa told him. I don't want any first ball fastballs. He remembers the one from Bottenfield. First pitch breaking ball. He had it in a great spot.
Yeah, he did. Slider, hard slider right on the outside corner. Looked like he dropped down a little bit, put that arm slide at a little bit different angle. Got the easy pop-up.
There's a pitch right there that as Maggs plays more and more and more, he'll just look at and give it to him.
Yeah, give it to him.
So here's Darren Jackson.
Wow.
There's another one. Good breaking pitch, slider on the outside corner. Darren making his first plate appearance. Sox down to their last out. Sacks packed. Come on, DJ, get yourself a knock. There's an excellent pitch, too. Good pitch right there by Vitalico, right on the outside corner. Now DJ has really got a honker. And here come the Cardinal fans. Little chopper. McEwing, Renteria, and this ball game is over. So the Cardinals come up with 3 big runs in the bottom of the 8th inning as they take the rubber match of this 3-game set. They win it 8-6, and Wimpy and I'll be back to wrap it up. Right now, let's check out our Miller Genuine Draft play of the game. Coming with the bases loaded, bottom of the 8th inning. Sox up by 1, and Eli Marrero at the plate. Wimpy.
Well, you could break this down. This game actually down to 2 pitches. This one right here, this hanging slider on first pitch to Marrero that he rifles into the gap for the 3-run double. Bases loaded for the Sox in the top of the 9th inning. Vitalico makes a great slider pitch on the outside corner. Maggs Ordonez pops it up, and that was pretty much the difference in the ball game.
And let's check out our Pepsi AC upcoming games. There you see tomorrow afternoon at 1 we will be at County Stadium, so a tough schedule in that respect. Monday, Tuesday there, and then the Wednesday game, the first of that 2-game set with Minnesota. We'll have the Tuesday game for you right here with WGN Sports, and we'll be back. And the final totals in the finale of this 3-game set as the Cardinals take the rubber match. For St. Louis, 8 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They left but 5. For the Sox, 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They stranded 8. Stevenson, the winner, he is 1-0. Ward takes the loss 0-1, and credit Ricky Vitalico with his 13th save of the season. And reminder, our next telecast of White Sox baseball on WGN TV will be tomorrow. The White Sox, oh, this is the wrong one. It will be next Tuesday from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Our broadcast begins at 7. Today's game was produced by John Walgren and directed by Skip Allison. Our associate producer is Joe Groove. So for my partner, the Whooparoo, Tom Patrick, this is Ken Harrelson. So long, everybody. Be sure and stay tuned for the WGN News.